we'll post it on our team page for all the gals and boys who couldn't get on. So I'm Angela Jensen. Everybody knows that. I'm super excited to just host our first team Zoom call and to just hopefully give you some tips to make your business blossom. Thank you, Karen Bunch, for the fun use of spring. I kept having all these things. Okay, how can I use it? Spring, growing, planting seeds, and that's exactly what we've been doing all these months, is just planting seeds and little nuggets here and there, and intentionally sharing with our friends and our family the amazing products and the business opportunity. So I just wanted to first introduce Karen. I think everybody has probably met her. Tina, if you're listening, I'm super excited that you're on here, and I can't wait to see you and talk to you on the phone and meet you face to face. So Karen, just share a little bit of your Plexus journey and why you started.
Ooh, okay. So I think I've met everybody on here. I haven't met Tina, but hi guys. Emily, congrats. I haven't got to tell you that yet. Really, I think most of y'all know I started Plexus when Brody, who will be 2 in April. I started when he was 2 months old, and I started because I saw Catherine and Tamara just posting about Plexus for a long time. I've been watching Tamara for a year and Catherine about 5 months, and I was intrigued, and so I just messaged them and got some information. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to join wholesale. And then what really sent me over to work the business was when I heard all the research about the diabetes and Plexus, since Brian's a type 1 diabetic, that really, really intrigued me about the longevity of his life and what it could do for him potentially. Him and my mother-in-law is a type 1 diabetic, and then as well as our children have a 66% chance of inheriting it at some point, juvenile diabetes. So it really, got my attention. Once I started doing Plexus and I started just kind of taking the products and enjoying the products and just telling a very few friends and family about it, I realized the potential that could happen with Plexus. And so I decided to jump into the business opportunity of it. And that's about the time Angela joined me in September or August. And it was just so fun. At the time, I was working, including Plexus, 3 jobs. So I did Plexus. I did, and I still currently, I run a Mother's Day Out program with about 180 children. We have about 120 families, and I do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And so that takes up a lot of time during the days. I'm not even working because you have parents emailing. And like tonight, I spent an hour and a half on the phone trying to get 4 subs for tomorrow. So that takes up a lot of time besides just Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then as well as at our church, I coordinated all of our new members. Whenever we had a new member workshop once a month, and we had new member classes twice a month. So I was in charge of all of that, as well as just touching base and being the liaison for new members and getting them plugged into home groups and life groups and Sunday school classes, and getting the kids plugged in and all of that. And then Plexus. So this past January, I was able to substitute, and I made enough to where I got to leave the church job. And so now I just work 2 jobs, so that's really exciting. And I hope one day just to do Plexus. But that's kind of me and my Plexus journey.
Yay! Yay. And then Catherine's, for everybody to just rehear her story, and then her health testimony. A pretty awesome one.
Yeah. Hey guys, I love technology. My Plexus journey started with a health journey before I had even heard the word Plexus or even knew what it was. Chandler, my youngest son, he'll be 3 in a couple of weeks. During my pregnancy with him, I experienced significant pain with my sciatic nerve. I had not had that with my first pregnancy, so it was pretty new. And my OB wasn't concerned. He said, you're a busy mom, you're working full time, he's a bigger baby, it'll go away when he was born. So I just kind of suffered through my pregnancy thinking it was normal. Well, when the baby was born, it did not go away. And it actually got worse and really started affecting my ability to function as a mom, as an employee, as a wife. I started having a lot of anxiety about it. I literally could not get in the floor and play with Hudson. My infant was colicky and needed a lot of attention, and I suffered through, the middle of the nights being unable to tend for him in the middle of the night down the hallway just because of the pain in my hip and my leg. At the end of the day, I would be limping, and I would just have a sharp pain in my left back that went down my left leg, and I experienced all of the typical symptoms of sciatica, pins and needle sensation, numbness. I had to wear double socks on my left foot because I just had no feeling in it, and it was just freezing. And so it greatly affected my ability to live like I wanted to live. So that started a long journey of doctor's appointments. You start with your general physician, and I went to a pain specialist, and then I sought a second opinion as well because I was not given much hope regarding my sciatica. Statistically, there's not a whole lot they can do with it. The surgeries that are available where they can release where the nerve is being compressed are not very successful. The rates in the 20 to 30 percentile, and they're, very expensive. Injections were an option, but I did not want to start steroids yet just because of the side effects, and I didn't want to be dependent on that just to feel better. So I thought there has to be another way. I did start pain medication, and I did start seeing a chiropractor. And I was okay, but I was still depressed and still had to limit my activity. But while I was seeing the chiropractor, and I was going 3 days a week for adjustments in order to see any relief, I started meeting with their holistic nutritionist on staff there because my chiropractor believes in treating the whole person and the whole body with diet and supplements. And so for the first time in my life, I had been introduced to the importance of supplementation. I had taken a multivitamin most of my life, but I was not educated on the need for eliminating things in my diet. Is my internet cutting in and out? Can y'all hear me? Am I back?
I can hear you, but you're doing the, your picture's there, but you're doing the whole 80s, kind of.
Okay, we'll see if it comes back on. I'm right by my modem.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So the holistic nutritionist really started educating me on the importance of looking at my diet and starting to eliminate things, a lot of sugar, processed foods, Diet Coke, so my body could better manage inflammation and pain, because a lot of the body's ability to deal with pain, and specifically back and nerve issues, is related to ongoing inflammation. So I learned very quickly that if I could manage my inflammation, I would feel better. My pain would not necessarily go away. I was okay with learning that I was going to deal with it for the rest of my life, but if I could just feel better, then I was willing to do whatever it took. And I was also desperate to get off my pain medication. I was having side effects. I was having just some hormonal, aggressional, crazy mama reactions, with my medication, and I was desperate to get off of it. So we started addressing it with diet. I started a probiotic. I started vitamin B. I started vitamin D. And all of this led me to Plexus. I started researching natural pain lines, and I started going to some holistic seminars. I started learning what I needed to cook, what we needed to not buy at the store. So we were making a lifestyle change in order to support my health journey. And Tamara, who is my close friend in Diamond Upline, she had experienced migraine relief. And so I was introduced to Plexus through her and researched the natural pain line for a good 2 months before I tried it. But that gave me the peace of mind to to try it and to also try it with the hope that it was going to help me because I was so confident in the ingredients and what I knew about the products. I took them to my nutritionist. She had not heard of them, but she was impressed. She's like, these look great. And they were exactly what I was already taking and purchasing at our more Whole Foods health store. So I jumped in as a wholesaler. And that's the only question my husband asked was how much it was going to cost because we were paying out of pocket for all of my health care because preventative care is not covered by insurance. And I was quick to say it doesn't matter because I'm going to get paid for. Because Tamara had told me just enough how to get my products covered. And she said, you just need 2 to 3 customers to get your products covered. And I thought, well, I can do that because, again, I had already researched it for 60 days, had a very good personal knowledge about ingredients and supplements because I had already been on this health journey for 6 months. So I started taking it knowing it was going to help me and knowing it was going to help people in my life. My husband's boss was type 2 diabetic. My aunt has fibromyalgia. My mom has been on sleep medication for years. My sister-in-law has IBS. So just based on my personal knowledge and the testimonies I was reading, I was confident that it was going to help people that I knew and I loved. So I knew that I was going to get my products paid for nothing less. So I started products. I started sharing immediately. I started posting on Facebook, and I started with those people I knew who could benefit from the products and basically just said, you need to try this. This is what I've learned. This is what it's doing for people. I think it could help you. And fast forward 6 weeks, I get my first paycheck, and it was just shy of $1,000. I mean, I had a crazy customer base immediately. Not very many people had heard of Plexus in my area. And I just used Facebook to educate them on what it was. I was not necessarily posting about results because I didn't have any, but I knew about inflammation and what it was doing. I knew about gut health and the need to support it. And I knew about the importance of blood sugar. So that's what I started educating on. So I get this first paycheck. I honestly did not know how I made it. I really didn't. And so, because I didn't understand the compensation plan enough to know exactly where that money came from. So I went back to Tamara and said, holy cow. Like, I knew she was Ruby at the time, guys. I mean, she's well past Diamond now, but she was a Ruby when I joined. And I said, what is this? And I know you're staying home with Abigail, but tell me more. And so it was that point that I was first introduced to the business opportunity. And I had gone silver, that first month. And the Dallas convention was like 2 weeks away. And she said, come to Dallas. I was like, why? I mean, I didn't even know why I needed to be there. And she said, come. It's a drive away. There's so many people going from Little Rock. We're all going to stay together. It won't be expensive. Just come. So I did. So I went to Dallas convention. Barely a silver ambassador. I had only been an ambassador for maybe 60 days, but I had customers that were loving the products. I was starting to feel some deep pain relief. A nagging numbness that I had dealt with for 2 years was starting to lift. So I was curious. I mean, I went to Dallas with the curiosity of what is this company and is it what my family has been looking for? Mm-hmm. And I mean, I vividly remember calling my husband after one session, almost in tears, just so impressed with the company, full faith that God led us there because my belief was built while I was there, because I was exposed to hundreds, thousands of people whose lives have been changed, their health and their wealth. I was exposed to the executive team and got to hear their vision. I got to hear their integrity. I got to hear their background and had the confidence in the leadership team of this company I was getting involved with. And I got to hear from the network marketing professionals of the industry. I'd never been exposed to network marketing, but to be able to sit in seminars listening to these renowned authors and radio hosts about the industry, I was excited. And I said, we're going to do this. We're going to do this and we're going to see where it takes us because I wanted to be home with my kids. And I was working full time as an interior designer. I liked my job. It was a stable job, but I desired more freedom. I just needed more freedom. Working 9 to 5, 40 hours, vacation time and sick days it's tough. It's tough when you have a family. And even though I had accepted that I needed to work, that my family needed my income, I still desire to be the carpool mom and to have the freedom to have my own schedule. So I started working immediately after Dallas and just committed. I guess, people say you draw your line in the sand. So I just committed. We're going to do this and see what happens. And I did everything Tamara told me to do. I did everything she told me to do. I followed her instructions. And it's everything that is taught on every training call about daily activity and Facebook posting and follow-up tips. And I did that. And almost a year to the date that I joined, when I ranked Senior Ruby the following April, I was able to give my notice at my full-time job and transition home. And of course, since then, 8 months later, I went Emerald, and the financial framework of our family is forever changed. It's forever changed. And I'm not anything special. I'm not, I'm an introvert by nature, but I value relationships. I value friendships. And I thought, I can do this. I can do that. I can connect, and I can genuinely share because something has changed our life. And I think realizing that people need our products and need the financial opportunity. And so I learned the skills needed to continue to grow my business, because I didn't know. I have no sales background at all, none whatsoever. But I followed the plan and I duplicated what was needed, and it worked. It worked for me.
That's awesome, ladies. I joined in August after seeing Karen post, and I just wanted the best bang for my buck, and I was exhausted. Connor, my fourth baby, 4 kids in a little over 6 years is, now I knew my adrenals were shot. I probably had chronic fatigue, and I was just exhausted. And so I just wanted some energy and to be, just to be there, a healthy mom for my family. And so I jumped in for the wholesale and shared with my mom and my dad. My dad's a cancer survivor and a type 2 diabetic now. My mom's had high blood pressure for years and years. So I immediately shared with just my close friends. And so I got my mom, my dad, and my husband on as customers. And then I got a college friend, and then my sister, and then my mom eventually. So it took me 3 or 4 months to go silver with 2 family members. So it took me a while to start building outside of my family, but that's why I started, was to share with my family and my close friends first. And then I met Sarah through a online McKinney Moms Facebook thing talking about Plexus, and then we connected and realized, oh my gosh, we teach first grade at the same church. So, and then Emily down the street, and it's just been so fun, and just the relationships. But I want Catherine now to share just a little bit of tips about just how to make our business blossom more. And she's touched a little bit on that, but I want to hear how she can help all of us just continue to grow.
Well, there's no secret. I think, so many people, it's true. You see people succeeding, or you see the leaderboard, or you see momentums of teams, and you think, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What am I not getting right? Why is my business not moving like I desire? But there's not a secret. There's really not. It comes down to numbers. And when I say numbers, I mean the more people you talk to and the more people you connect with, the more likely you will find people to partner with you. And that's one thing, so I watched a Sonia Dudley video very, very early on, and she shared that. She said, whoever talks to the most people wins. Not that it's a competition, because it's not, but the illustration being those that are really succeeding are prospecting 10s upon 20 people at a time. And, the term prospecting is used a lot in network marketing, because it's the idea of, a prospector, when someone is prospecting for gold. When the gold rushers were going west and they were prospecting, they were having to dig and shift to find just a couple of those nuggets. It's the same thing in our industry. You're going to prospect and talk a lot and have a ton of conversations, and you're shifting and you're looking for those that are going to say yes. And it doesn't take very many to say yes for you to see your business really work. You can talk with the top income earners in Plexus, and they'll tell you the same thing, that they just have 2 or 3 legs on their team that see it, want it, and do it like they do. The Tarl, our CEO, he came to Arkansas this past year, and he was the MC for a diamond panel. And one of the questions to these 7 women was, how many level 1s did you have when you enrolled? And of those level 1s, how many were active? And all of them shared very similar numbers. Their retention rate was about 50%. They had all sponsored between 35 and 50 level 1s. But at the time they went emerald, only 15 to 20 were active.
Wow.
And of those 15 to 20, only 4 to 6 were true business building legs. And they were diamonds. So that tells you that you only need 2 or 3 strong teammates that are building a strong business for you to succeed. Sarah Robbins says the same thing in her Rock Your Network Marketing Business book. 80% of her income, and she's a $5 million earner with her company. Crazy earner with her company. And 80% of her income, so 80% of that $1 million worth of sales, comes from 2 people. So I say that to encourage you that you have to continue to prospect in order to find those 2 or 3 who are going to say, yes, I want that. I desire it. I know it could work for me. The thing is, you're going to encounter a lot of no's in the process. Now, we all teach in Plexus that, well, not just Plexus, but in network marketing, you need to make a list of everyone you know, and you need to contact them about your business, and you need to send cold call messages every day. And that works. It does. It does work. But unfortunately, most of the time it can be a disaster because, we're not closely connected with people we're contacting. So sometimes they see it as just a sales push. In the beginning part of our journey, we're not prepared to handle all of our prospecting questions and objections. We're not prepared to hear all of those no's in the beginning. It's very, very discouraging. And so I learned this the hard way. That's how I was taught. You make a list, you start contacting, you contact 3 people every day, and the numbers are going to work to your advantage. Okay, that is true. It is true. But I learned very quickly that instead of calling people I know and telling them about my company and not prospecting very well, because the return rate on that is very, very low, I realized that I needed to spend time finding about their life, finding more out about their life. Because you know what? When you're in relations with people and when you're connected with people, they're going to give you cues that help you better prospect them for your business. Because, as we know, this business is not for everybody. It's not. Now, anybody can succeed, absolutely. But we have all had ambassadors start with the best intentions, eventually to just quit because it wasn't for them. That's very, very normal. So if we can do more quality prospecting in the beginning, we save ourselves a lot of heartache along the way. And when I say prospecting to see if they're a good fit, you need to spend time reconnecting to know more about their life. What's going on in their family? What's their occupation? What are their hobbies? What do they do for recreation? What are their views about money? Because in these conversations, and really this happens quite easily over Facebook as you're engaged with people, you start learning how their job or business is going. Do they hate their job? Are they in debt? Have they been praying for supplemental income? You start learning about health concerns and issues, what they're battling with their children. You start learning that they've got somebody's taking a second shift because their daughter's going to school. I mean, that happened. I was in Bible study and all of a sudden Sandra's not there anymore. And I'm like, where's Sandra? She went back to work. Why? She's got a daughter graduating and going and has been accepted into a private university. So she hadn't worked all these years and now she's going back because they need that income. So as you start connecting with people and learning about their life and asking questions, you're listening for areas that are causing stress. Are they working too many hours? Are they not spending enough time with family? Are they exhausted? Are they not sleeping well? Do they have low energy? And then introducing your business and products is natural and comes very easily because it's not a cold call. Have you heard of Plexus? Can I send you a sample? Which comes across as a sale and that they're hustling for a sale. But instead, it shows genuine concern that you have something that perhaps could help in an area of their life. Now, we talk about the daily mode of activity and the need to have daily activity in Plexus. It's very important because it's showing you're committed, it's showing that you're serious about your business, and it starts to build a story with your audience and your friends and family. Most people use the 3-2-1 where we say you need to talk to 3 people a day about Plexus. Well, instead of saying you need to talk to 3 people a day about Plexus, I say you need to connect with 3 people daily because you know what? Plexus might not come up that first time, and that's okay. But you need to be actively seeking ways to meet new people and build relationships because Plexus is going to come up eventually as those bridges are made between friendships and families and relationships. I think so often we look at the names on our contacts list as a destination. I need to talk to Susie because she's on my list and I think she could utilize the products and she might be interested in the business. So I contact her, she ignores me or says no, and I scratch off her name and I move on. Instead of seeing that name on my list as the opportunity to reconnect, build relationships, learn about where she is in life to see if Plexus is a good fit. So you kind of have to change your mindset that I need to actively pursue people in relationships every day. And I shared in a video on our page last week, one way I did that was we have a dog and, I wrote Dixie's name on my contact list because I have been exposed to a network that I did not know before she became our dog because I am now the doggy mama who's at the vet every couple of months for the shots. We are boarding her there. She's also going there to get groomed. So I'm seeing the same 3 ladies in the vet office every time I go. And it's at least once a month. In the beginning, it was once every 3 or 4 weeks. So I've gotten to know these 3 ladies. I sent them a Facebook request because guess what? They want to see pictures of my dog. So I'm slowly building a relationship with them. They're being exposed to my Plexus post. Plexus will come up. I've worn a t-shirt in there. It will come up. It hasn't yet. But as I meet and connect with them, I count that as part of my connection for that day. So instead of reaching out to 3 new people a day about Plexus, one of those might be a cold call. I mean, I was in the gas station last week. I was starving. I had not had lunch, and so I grabbed a Larabar to eat for my lunch as I was running off to get my kids. And the lady behind the counter, she's like, so are these good? I was like, well, I like them. It's good ingredients. She's like, good ingredients. So you read the labels? I was like, well, I try to. And she said, she said, so do you eat all the organic stuff? I mean, it opened this whole conversation about, because guess what? In her gas station, they have an area that has been redesigned and stocked for organic products because that's where the market is moving. So she had all these questions. Well, and it was a short 5-minute conversation. She has fibromyalgia. And I said, if I had something that would help you, would you be interested? And she's like, well, yeah, I'm always looking for something. And so I was like, do you work this week? And she said, I do. I said, well, I'm going to stop by with some info. I didn't say Plexus. I didn't puke on her. I just said, I'll be back. Mm-hmm. So by connecting, asking questions, building relationships, Plexus will naturally happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do want to give you some numbers because it really kind of changes your mindset on the potential of the 3-2-1, or really the importance of maintaining new contacts with people. Okay, let me find them. Let me pull them up. Okay. If you contacted or connected
Mm-hmm.
with 3 people a day, every day for a year, you would have talked to at least 1,095 people. That's a lot. Now, if you only personally sponsored 5 to 10% of those, which is really normal, that return is very normal, you still would have sponsored between 50 and 100 ambassadors in your business. That's so many people.
That's Emerald, guys. That's Emerald.
So many people. Now, what would your business look like if you did that? Well, I could tell you what it would look like. It would explode. Your business would explode. And the thing is, if you only found those 2 or 3 people or even 5 people on your team to do the same thing, what happens then? Then it really explodes. So it doesn't take a ton of people to make your business take off. You just have to find the right people. And along the way, you have to be willing to hear a lot of no's. That's where the commitment comes in, and that's where the tenacity comes in, and where the hard work pays off. But I just want to challenge you to change your mindset, to start looking at people's needs and how Plexus can meet their need, instead of that name on that list being a destination, because most of the time that doesn't work.
Right.
Do you think that because you kind of started with an educational purpose, that was kind of your brand, that helped you?
I think it helped when I started, but a lot of people didn't know that about me. I mean, my close friends and family, like my girls in our small group at church, they knew my health journey because they had been living it with our family for a year. So to them and to my family, I had an influence in that area, because they knew that I was knowledgeable in that area because of my personal journey. The general public on Facebook did not. I mean, they didn't know that about me. So I started sharing that. I started branding myself on Facebook as, this is what these are the changes my family has made, and this is why. This is what we're cooking, and this is why. This is what we're teaching our boys, and this is why. I just started sharing our journey on there. And, and I had people come to me and say, I have another friend that sells Plexus, but I feel like you could answer my questions. Mm-hmm. Or I've had people say they're on another team, or they ordered from someone else, but they said, I really need some assistance. I think you could help me. It seems like you know more. Mm-hmm. Not that I did, but because I was using Facebook as my platform to educate about whole health, not just Plexus, but whole health, and how Plexus fit into that. And I think that's going to be happening more and more. I mean, my husband had, his annual physical before the end of the year, and his doctor said, you need to be on a probiotic and a fish oil and vitamin D. Well, guess what? He's on that. That's what we're using. And so I think as more physicians and conventional medicine continues to catch up, that's going to be happening more and more. And so you want people to remember, Emily talked about a probiotic, or Sarah mentioned a vitamin that has vitamin D. So you want to make sure that you're communicating about the benefits of our products in the whole health market, because people remember. I mean, I had another friend. She was one of my first orders in that first 6 weeks. Major candida yeast problems. She's dealt with them her whole life. She's in her 40s now, and she had major die-off, and we prepared for it. I coached her through it, but she could not and would not stick with it. And she could not get past the number on the scale. She was gaining some weight, but she just really struggled. And so she quit. And, in January, she called me and she said, okay, Elizabeth, her daughter's 13. We've been back and forth to the dermatologist because Elizabeth, or Jennifer, my friend, has battled acne her whole life. Even as a 40-year-old woman, she has terrible acne. And she said, I'm seeing my daughter start on my same journey, my same health journey, and I do not want that for her. And my dermatologist said she needs to be on a probiotic. And Jennifer said, I knew I should have never quit Plexus. I need to start Elizabeth on something. What do we need to do? So, that's a year later that she quit, starting back. So conventional medicine is catching up. And I don't know if she would have even come back had her dermatologist not said, we need to start looking at something from the inside while we address it on the outside. So you want to make sure that you're setting yourself up as a health and wellness enthusiast or advocate. And I don't know everything. I still learn every day. I'm still learning so much every day, but I can tell you with confidence that our products are cutting edge. Our ingredients are cutting edge. And, I shared that article from Harvard, or the Wellness magazine, that, Harvard was looking to patent an omega-7 from a specific flour. That's in our Omega X. It's a different source, but Harvard Medical is recognizing what omega-7 is doing in the heart health industry. We've already got it in our product. That's unbelievable. Activated charcoal in the cosmetic industry is like being put in everything. It's in our body cream. So, our ingredients are cutting edge, which is exciting, but people need to know that they're in there. And so that's just where the consistent Facebook posting comes in, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific post about Plexus, but a specific post about what you're learning health-wise, or what you've studied about a specific ingredient, or, what changes you've seen take place in yourself or in your children who are taking products, and why those changes are taking place, because what the research shows behind that specific ingredient. That's why my customer base blew up, is because that's what I started sharing. And I was sharing 2 to 3 times a day, just what I was reading and what I was studying, what I was uncovering, and the differences that it was making in my life and what it was doing for my family. And people started seeing that and noticing that. And my biggest PV month to date was 9 months from the time I started. And I had consistent high PV, over, in the 100 or in the 1,000 PV, 1,800, 2,000 PV. I had some good months. Wow. But the January, February following my enrollment, my PV just went through the roof. But I'd been sharing consistently all that time. I never stopped posting. And now I love the on this day feature, or the time hop, because now I can look back and see, I'm seeing everything that I had done and everything that I had posted. It's a lot of work, but it pays off. And I was willing to do what it took. I was working full time. Chandler had just turned a year when I signed up. And I didn't have a lot of extra time. I was up late a lot, but those were the 2 or 3 hours I had to work. And that's one thing Sarah Marble had shared in Dallas at the convention. She did a short segment on income producing activities and how to time manage. And she said, if you can commit, 2 hours a day, that's a typical part-time job. If you can work 15 hours in a week, Plexus, that's a typical part-time job. So I left Dallas saying, well, I'm going to work 15 hours a week. And where can I work 15 hours a week? And so that was, an hour or 2 in the evening after my kids went to bed. Fridays I was off work. So it was, that 1 or 2 hours during nap time. And then it was 1 or 2 hours on a Saturday and 1 or 2 hours on a Sunday. And so that's what worked for me. But it doesn't take a lot of time, but it does take a commitment to the time you have.
Yeah. And that consisted of posting a couple times a day. It consisted of personal growth and development, watching a training video, just Google Plexus on YouTube, and there's so much great stuff that's out there. And then just following up with people who are like, what's Plexus and things like that. Is that kind of what you did or what?
I did. I did make a contact list, and I did start cold messaging. Those that were my close friends, and close friends and family. And I made, my dream team list of those that I wanted to be in the business with me. I got a couple of them on phone calls with Tamara because I didn't know a lot in the beginning, and Rachel Harrison, she's someone that I pursued, and now she's doing great and has a thriving business. And also just reconnecting and building relationships. I made a Facebook friends. I separated my friends list. That's something that was advised. You can make, a separate listing of your friends that are not Plexus. Because I started getting a lot of Plexus friends and a lot of Plexus notifications. And so I was missing in my news feed, the people that I wanted to prospect. And so I separated my friends list so I could go to Facebook and click on that specific list and only see the news feeds of those friends that were not involved with Plexus. So I made sure I was looking at that news feed every day, liking, commenting. I reached out to people that I had not seen in a while, childhood friends that I knew were coming to the area. I'd love to catch up. Let's grab coffee. I just really started building relationships again and connecting. And that was out of my comfort zone because I'm an introvert. I can hide behind a screen and like and comment on photos, but to genuinely invest in people, I did that. And, probably 65% of my business was from Facebook. It was. And then actively pursuing people and allowing Plexus to come up naturally. It takes longer. I'm Emerald, yes, but it took me, 20 months, which, 2 years for this amazing income is amazing, but I think you look at the Plexus average for an Emerald and it's much lower. I think it's a 9 to 16 months, somewhere in there, which is super fast. So mine is not the fast track, but it worked.
Yeah. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and anything I'm making is just a crazy, amazing blessing. And
I look for ways to meet new people. I signed up for a different Bible study this year just for the purpose of being around people that were not my normal group, just so I could build relationships with new people. And I signed up for a running clinic, which I typically would not have done. And I did that just to meet new people and to expose myself to a new network. We've gone to several children's events in the area just for the purpose to meet new people and make connections with moms. So it's not exhausting. It's fun, but it takes effort to expand your network and to constantly look for ways to build relationships because it's called network marketing. It's relationship building. And that's where trust is formed, and that's where the products and the opportunity are presented.
Well, I'm excited for March. I thank all of y'all for getting on here. Tina, I get to see your face. That's so exciting. And you got a customer, I think. Did you get a customer?
Yay!
That's so exciting.
Two.
Way to go. That's awesome. That's so exciting. When you get your first one, you're like, yay, happy day.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. What did they order?
The one ordered a megaplex and the other one a combo.
Okay.
So,
That's so fun. And then Sarah got a new customer, so she's growing her PV. Emily got some new customers this month. My mom got a bunch last month. Karen got a new customer. So we're all just continuing to just share the amazing products, and I'm so excited to see how the spring goes. Y'all planted a lot of seeds. Y'all been consistent in posting, and that's key because I posted for a long time. I didn't even get a like. And I was like, man, what am I doing wrong? Why are they not doing? And then you'll get a random message and you'll go, oh, they were reading my post. So it's just so important to post. I posted at the beginning, like 2 or 3, even 4. I was so excited. Oh, I have to share this. Oh, I have to share that. Try to tone it down a little bit and try to post just once or twice, or maybe once a day. I still try to post daily because I am passionate and I want people to see that I am genuine about it. I'm not giving up on it. It's not a fad for me. It's definitely been a lifestyle change for me, just getting whole and healthy and just being the healthiest mama and wife that I can be. My hair's crazy. But so I'm excited. I'm going to post on our team thread the March incentives that I have planned for y'all. Lots of ways to just earn extra little bit of prizes, and I am excited for y'all.
And don't forget about next Monday night, making our
Yes.
dream boards.
Tina, you can't come. You won't be here, but I'm having a get together at my house. Maybe we'll FaceTime you in or something. So what we're gonna do is just make dream boards of what could Plexus, how could my income be a blessing to my family? What could I do with this? How can I give away more? How can I, pay for this or that? So we're gonna do that and then just make some rank advancement boards. So I'm excited. So have some food. Do you think you'll be able to go to convention, Tina?
Probably not.
Okay, that's okay. It's okay. They'll post.
Maybe next time.
You will. You will get to a Plexus convention.
Well, and guys, don't forget that Opportunity of a Lifetime is coming to Dallas. I think it might be actually in Grapevine in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So that's a really, really, it's probably the best opportunity meeting you could have out of the entire year. Even if you can't bring anybody, I would highly suggest you clearing your calendar and getting there for that meeting.
Are they going to Utah?
Sorry, what?
Are they going to go to Utah?
I didn't see him on the list.
You didn't?
No?
Okay.
No.
Bummer. That's sad.
They did last year.
They added like 6 cities after the original announcements.
Oh, okay. It might be on there then.
It may be on there because I know and it was more west. They added Boise, they added Houston, there were a couple on the west coast. I'll see if I can find that note.
Because I know they went last year to Salt Lake or something. So, okay, what else were you going to say, Karen?
That was it. I was just getting there. That's all.
Okay. Well, awesome. We will post this on the board or on our team page, whatever, Facebook Messenger, and hopefully the next one we have, we'll get more of y'all on here and we can see more of you. So thank you, Karen and Catherine, for taking time to just connect with these ladies. So I'm proud of all of y'all.
Y'all have a great night.
Good night.
Okay.
You too.
Thank you.